What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be covering how to improve your pull-up endurance. How are you going to get more reps in a pull-up set? The common practice for this is going to the gym and doing a few sets of as many reps as you can do with the pull-up. Now this is one way to get endurance, but there is a better and probably more efficient method of attaining this. And this is something called sustained power training. It's often used a lot in cyclists who want to increase their wattage per hour or wattage output for doing intense part of a race, like climbs, sprints, finishes for the race.
Why?
So, functional threshold power. This is essentially how much power can you sustain at functional level for a period of time. So that's sort of 5 or 6 minutes plus we're aiming for here. This is generally determined by your blood lactate threshold. So how much lactate can your muscles deal with and get rid of before your muscle essentially just fatigues and you can't do any more reps. So this is very, very handy for improving the pull-up. We want to have enough power to do one pull-up for as long a period as possible. So the way we're going to be training this today is, as I said, with this sustained power training. So the idea is, instead of stepping into the gym and doing an endurance-like set of sort of 10 to 20 reps, as many reps as you can do, we're going to train a little bit differently and we're going to see how much we can sustain with rest in between. So because it's power, we're going to be going for lower reps. That means we're going to be doing 1 to sort of 5 rep range. And then we're also going to need to use probably some weight. Unless your max pull-ups are about 7 or 8, then you're going to want to add weight. So we're going to be using between 70 and 80% of our 1 rep max for this particular exercise. So the way I like to calculate this is your body weight plus whatever weight you're doing, whatever your max is, and then times by 0.8. So I think for me, my max pull-up with added weight was about 50 kilos. So if I use my body weight of 88 kilos plus 50 kilos, we get 138 kilos, then times by 0.8, roughly 115, around that mark. So that means I'm going to have to use about 20 kilos of additional weight, 20 to 30 kilos of additional weight to get into that 70 to 80% range. It's not too, it doesn't matter too much. You want to be able to perform about 5 reps. You shouldn't be going to failure on the 5th rep. You should probably be able to get 6 or 7. So now that we've got our weight sorted, although I only have 10 kilos at home, so that's all I'm going to be using to show you guys how to do this method, but you want to find a weight that's appropriate to you. So the technique we're going to be using for this is strength or power-based reps with a very, very short rest. And then you're going to keep performing those sets till you can't perform 1 rep. This is not the sort of workout that you do on a couple of days a week basis. This is maybe something you use once a week max and supplement into your other training. It's going to be pretty intense. You should be pushing around 5 minutes of almost continuous exercise with a pretty heavy load. You only stop when you can't get 1 rep of good form. So this may look like a set of 5 and 5 and 4, then maybe a couple of sets of 3, a couple of sets of 2, then maybe 4 sets of 1, and you can't get that final set. So in total you may be pushing around 20 to 30 reps, but you're going to be going to failure to a certain extent. But we're utilizing the combination of this power and a short rest to improve our blood lactate threshold. Because the short rest is going to allow our body to buffer lactic acid better at a higher threshold. So this should then translate to being able to bash out as many pull-ups as you want to do when you drop the weight and you're using body weight only. So that is the method. I'll put a link in the description down below to a couple of articles if you want to read a little bit more. I wouldn't recommend doing this with addition to much other training. I would leave it just this on its own if you're doing a full exercise, because it is going to be very intense, as I said. So I'm going to stop muttering on here and I'm going to show you a few examples of how to perform this exercise, and we'll see how well I do with 10k, which is probably more around the 60% rep range, but I haven't trained endurance for a long time, so it's probably going to be pretty bad, so we'll see. So guys, about 9 minutes 15, excluding the setup and then the final bit. It's a pretty tough workout. I am so pumped right now on that. I started off 20 to 30 seconds of rest. As the reps got lower, I decreased the reps. So by the singles, I was only resting about 10 to 15 seconds at most, usually about 10 seconds in between the reps. Or to make it really hard, do what I just did and only come off the rings or the bar every other set. So you're hanging in there for 2 sets in between as well for your rest. And that's really going to give you a forearm burn as well. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you think, if you're going to try it, what you thought of it if you did try it. And if you have any ideas for any more tutorials that you want to see, drop a link down below. But that has been it for today guys. Thank you for coming and watching. Have a strong week. Peace.